You know, you got this fantasy in your head about getting out of the life and setting the corporate world on its ear. What the fuck you gonna do except hustle? Besides pimping, you really ain't got the stomach.
The studio doing what I do. Actually, it came from Gil. Gil actually gave me the name, gave the studio the name because the old studio I was at, the way the ceiling was, it just seemed like it was on some Batcave shit. Like, I had a different name, but I'm not even gonna throw that out there, you know what I'm saying? I had a different name. He gave me the name. I said, fuck it, I'm gonna run with it. I like the idea. Gil, your wife still ain't put them bats up on the ceiling either. Right, it ain't every day. But the most consistent, I would say, would be Nitty. My man Nitty from Badlands. He's been coming every Friday straight for the past 2 years.
Shout out to Nitty. Shout out to Nitty.
You know what I mean? Of course, you got other people who might be able to do more frequent time, like 2 days a week. Like I got Meek in here for a whole month straight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he may be consistent on that tip, but just somebody who's just been consistent, like keeping the same day for a long period of time, it's been Nitty. Shout out to Nitty, the Badlands, the whole Badlands. I don't know, man, I had a lot of them, dog. Like, you know, I can name a few of them. I can name a few. Raekwon came to the studio. I'm not talking about the recent time, I'm talking about the old time. Raekwon came to the studio. I had John in the studio. Sticky Fingers and Nelly. We did the Ballers joint for the Ram Squad. It's been a lot of them, man. I can't even. Corrupt been around. You know what I mean? Doing classic Gillie records, you know what I'm saying? You know, me and Gil got a long history. Matter of fact, when Bianca spit her first verse in my basement, that was the studio I was in that was most memorable. When we was putting Major Figures together. They were already together, but they really came together in my basement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the most memorable. I think, well, I think that this kind of an easy one. Like, you gotta, if you really look at past history, like I said, like Major Figures was formed in my basement. Well, the key person or the key people from that group is still around. A lot of people still follow him. You know what I'm saying? As far as what he's done, what contributed to Philly hip hop. So what happens is even like with me dealing with Ice City, the original Ice City, it wasn't Young Dro and them. It was me, Freeway, Petey Crack, you know, 500, Gang War. We was all original Ice City. You know what I'm saying? Back to the Ram Squad days, back to so people who know that history, what happened is a lot of that trickled down to the newer generation. Mm-hmm. And the newer generation, the ones that couldn't come off the porch at one time, like you gotta think about it. At one time, 6 years ago, Meek probably wasn't allowed off his porch.
Right.
But I was recording, you know, the Figures and State Property and, you know, a bunch of other people. So at that time, he was admiring what was going on at then, because he was listening to Kev or getting mixtapes or whatever. So, you know, he may have heard of the name, you know, my name, or just where, you know, the things I have done to contribute. And so, you know, a lot of the dudes get that. A lot of the new dudes get that. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably part of the reason why they flock here. It's not necessarily just the quality, because there's a lot of guys who are able to give you the quality that I'm able to give you. You got guys that can do it on a laptop and give you the same quality that I give you. You know what I'm saying? They just haven't paid their dues as an engineer or a producer yet, and I have. And a lot of people, you know, I guess pretty much know that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said I can't take nothing away from everybody. A lot of people might say, you know, Batcave Studio was the shit. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is the shit, but there's a lot of other dudes out there with the same talent that I have. They just haven't been discovered yet. Right. And so hopefully they will, and everybody can, you know, make their money or contribute to Philly hip hop. Right. Batcave Radio was brought about through P-Funk. P-Funk had an opportunity to do a radio show, and you know, he was, at that time, he was just P-Funk's been a friend of mine for a long time, but he was just becoming abreast with the studio, with my studio, because we was all together at one time as Team PB, Platinum Band, and all of that. We broke up, but we didn't break up. And so I left and I went to California. When I came back, I started my studio again. And you know, P-Funk, you know, came back around and was just around. In the midst of him starting to get abreast with the studio, he was offered a radio show at Drexel, and we decided to make it an extension off of what we already had here, which was Batcave Studio. And so, you know, that's basically how that came about, and it's, you know, hopefully we can take that to the next plateau. But right now, you know, it is what it is. You know, the radio stations acting kind of funny or whatever, but you know, it's good being underground right now anyway, because we're able to do what we want to do. Of course, we want to approach, we want to check, but you know, I mean, it's, you know, being underground, man, we get to play what we want to play. You know what I'm saying? So that's really to sum that up. P-Funk brought that to the table, and he controls that, and that's an extension of Batcave Studio. I can't say none of them was really a favorite though, because everybody, I liked everybody. Every time somebody came up there, I had fun. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even say really that was about a favorite. Like, you know, everybody has little things about them that made me like the show at the time. I don't know. I think it was just more of just thinking of what I could say about myself. You know, but I was young though, man. I was young. Like if I had done it over, and I probably wouldn't have chose that name. But back then it was just like, you know, the type of artists that were around that we listened to was you know, about that. So you know, you had like Buckshot Shorty and Tribe Called Quest and Rakim, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, at the time, it was just something I choose to run with. Okay. The best. Y'all listen to Batcave Radio every Wednesday night from 12 to 3 a.m. And the second extension off of that is Industry Thursdays that we just started. Last week was our first week. This week is will be the second week, and hopefully it'll get a little better. You know, we're trying to get the sound system a little better. You know, any info with that, I'm sure Biz. Also, Nicholas Porter is sending out crazy blast on Facebook to everybody. Batcave studio if y'all one time. You know what I'm saying? You can call 215-238-1500. Somebody's always here, whether it's me, P-Funk, Biz, or J.I. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's always here. That's really it, man. We just doing what we do, man. Hopefully Batcave can grow into something a little bigger. You know what I mean? There's no black huge studios around. Like, I don't know a black person who owns a huge studio where you have, you know, an SSL in there or EU Phonics, you know what I'm saying, Big Outboard Gear, you know, and Alan Heath stuff, any of that stuff. There's no black people who has that. So hopefully I could be one of the first dudes to have something like that. I want to have a Larry Golds eventually. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of people don't go to Larry Golds that are underground, and they come here. Even though me and Larry, we kind of almost charge pretty much the same price, but I guess the difference in that is just, you know, me being, I used to be a rap artist first. You know, then I started, you know, doing production, and in the middle of doing all of that, I was doing my own engineering. So, you know, I kind of already know what people are looking for when they're doing it. While they're recording, I already hear where I want to put it at a lot of times, and you may not be able to get that at some of the other studios. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Right.
holla at me. Tune in to K.walker TV. Say No More TV. We're doing what we do. Holla at your boys, Rugg, Batcave Studios. Holla at me.
Crack, crack.